So you can see there, I've got the laser on it. Actually, I've forgotten I'd had this. Somebody mentioned it, why don't you use a laser? And you can see there that it's right on the top of the chassis on the left hand side here. You can see, if you look at it that side, it's just slightly above there, so that obviously is that needs to come down. But it could be the fact that there's no shock absorbers on it. It's just the springs, and one spring could be worse than the other. But I'll try it in different positions and see. And but the measurements from these repeater holes here down to the front is exactly the same on both sides. It's just the height of it, so we're going to have to adjust this one on the right hand side here and take a couple of mil out of it, or more than a few mil, probably a centimetre or so. But anyway, I'll show you what I've been doing with it. So I've got this bit cut out, so you can see that's better now. I've still got to push this forward. This is going to come up and meet up with this, obviously, eventually. And what I'm going to do now is cut this side down. I've got to cut this side down to make it fit correctly. And this is how the back is approximately going to go. Okay, this is just cheap shiplap. It's kind of stuff you'd put on a shed or whatever, but it's very, very thin, as you can see there, because I don't want anything too heavy. That's about €30 a pack. There's another pack there. I'll need about 3 packs, I think, to do it, because I've got to do the base, the 2 sides, and then the 2 tail pieces as well. Obviously I'm going to have to cut some of them down to fit correctly. And then what I thought I'd do is use this aluminium stripping. This is obviously for going from, you know, one tiled area to another tiled area or whatever. It's just a carpet strip basically, but that's exactly the right distance to sit in between there, as you can see. So I might go for that, or I might even go for some 10. It's 10 mil. I might go for some 10 mil aluminium box section, which will fit right in there, and it'll raise it up higher because it's 10 mil by 10 mil. I've checked this with the caliper, and that will make a runner on it. So if we put something in, we're not likely to put anything in the back, but it will just look nicer. And I think that's a little bit too wide, so I think the square aluminium box and screw it directly down, so that will be the way to go. And obviously we have to do the base first, and then because the sides can go down, there's going to be a gap between it when you open the sides up, but that's not a big deal. But yeah, that's the way it's going to go. Okay, so it's getting a bit closer now, as you can see. But I need to kind of shape it, but I can still move this around a bit. But it's catching on this wing. This wing's going to have to come off. A little bit tight on the back there. So I'll get that back one done first, and then you can see it's just still got quite an overlap here, but I'll take it down a little bit at a time. But yeah, it's going to work. So I'm taking a little bit off this side so it goes in, but you can see it's still quite a bit more to come off there. It needs more of a radius on it. And this is an old piece that I've made up. So there's still a lot to do, but it's definitely, you know, if I take that wing off, it's catching on that wing. So I'll get right into that corner. But slowly but surely I'm making headway. So what I've done is I bought these aluminium strips, and they fit perfectly in there. They're actually 10.5 mil, and this is 10 mil when it's trapped tight, but I can open it up just a little bit, and then what I'll do is I'll use these and screw them, countersink them, and I'll put them into the 4 bars that are going across, so I won't have to put anything into the wood. This will hold them completely, because they'll be secured in there. And as you can see, if I push that down a little bit, you can see how much of a ridge there is on that. So that'll be nice. That'll make a nice loading bed. I know it's aluminium. There'll be nothing going in it anyway, but you can see there's like a 5mm stick up there. All I've got to do now is work out the plank sizes, and so I end up with a beam on that end, this one on this end, which is a bit of a problem because obviously the tailgate's got to close, so I've got to cut it there, not on the back, because obviously this bit's got to go in there, and that might mean I might have to put another plate in there across the back to secure this, because I might not be able to get this in. I'll take the side off and have a look and see which way that's going to work. So I'll need to bring down the saw and get these absolutely right. I think that's going to work really nice, that. And obviously they're the same. So unfortunately I only had 10, and obviously they'll be the same on the sides like that in the wood kind of deal. But I can do the sides separately because I need to obviously bring it up a little bit from here. So I'll do the decking first, do the floor first, and then do the sides and the back later, and see how that goes. And hopefully they're going to have some more of this stuff. They only had 10 sections. That's a bit of a waste, that one, but no more. We'll see how it works out. I mean, I'm thinking here, looking at that, I think we're probably going to end up with about 11. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. I think 13. Yeah, 13, 14 planks. I'm not sure. We'll see. That's pretty much central where that spare wheel well is. Yeah, and I've ordered. It'll be here tomorrow or Friday latest. No, tomorrow. Sorry, Friday. He's going to call me, and what they're doing is I've got a local shop here that made me a load of beams for this wooden garage that were rotten, and we had them pre-made up, and they were very reasonable. Anyway, he's going to take square stock wood, and then he's going to cut out the rebate here, which is, I want it 35mm, and that'll take into account that self-tapper, and it'll be 20mm deep. Right, so I got a bit of a surprise, a bit of a shock actually. I went down this morning and asked this guy if he could do these edges for us, and within 2 hours he called me back and said he got them done. He had to make them all 2 meters long, even though I don't need anything like that length. But what we've done is, rather than go with the round, we've gone with this rounded shape, so it's like a almost, it's not flat, quite flat on the, well, it is flat there, but I think it looks so much nicer, that kind of off square shape. You can see where the rebate is on them there. And then what I'll do is I've got this now. Oh, my hips give me shit. So what I'll do is I'll put these in, and they'll go into the, obviously they'll be drilled, and these will then go into the wood, and then obviously we'll drill through the side here, and they can go up underneath and go straight into it and pull the wood down. So we'll put sort of 4 in there, or whatever many we need, and that will pull it down, suck it down onto here. They're just catching the top of there, so we'll have to mark them and just take a little chisel and just chisel them out so they fit perfectly on there, and it'll go down completely flat. Obviously that's too high at the moment, it will go down further. The only issue I can see is I might have to take this one back and get a little bit planed off it, because it's just too tight on the back of the cab. I thought there would be more, you know, that looks fine like that, but unfortunately it doesn't quite line up with the back of it. So I think I'm going to have to take a little bit off the back, flatten it more, which is a shame. But what I could do is I'll get him to take a piece off it. We'll work out what it needs with the caliper, and then get him to reshape the rounds on it. He's got a machine that does these edges, so it'll just be a little bit thinner. But there's no point in redoing the rebate inside, because it'll look wrong. But I really like that. I think once that's done, and I've got a really nice colour for it. It doesn't look very good on the tin, but on a piece of wood it looks really nice. So, and that's what we'll use for the tops and for the boards. Should be like a kind of golden honey colour, I think it's called. What was it called? What's the name of it? I forgot the name. It doesn't say, does it? Kefir, whatever kefir is in German. Anyway, so that's how it's going to look. I think that'll look real nice, and it'd be quite in keeping as well. I mean, I could have gone with a round, but it would have been larger, and I think that's too large because of the size of the rebate in it. What I don't want it to do is compromise it and it cracks. You can imagine if we'd have tried to go completely round on that, it would have been quite small. That rebate would have been quite close to it and it could crack easy. I mean, it could warp anyway. But surprisingly, those 4 pieces that were made from square wood, for the rebating and doing or chamfering all corners, all 4 of them, you can see there's another one here. It's €100, which I don't think's bad. €25 a piece. I think that's not bad at all because must have been a few hours went into it. Let's face it, what do you get for €100 these days? Not a lot. But very pleased with it. You can see how it looks, and obviously they'll be picture cornered, like I said. So yeah, so I wanted to get on with this tomorrow. On Saturday I'm up in Vienna anyway, so it'll be probably Sunday or Monday. Oh no, Monday we're going to a car show. There's a classic car show near here, so we're going to take the E-Type and the Mini Cooper. So I'll post another one at the weekend. So as usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby. I'll catch you in the next one, hopefully with the decking all in and painted up.